Unit 1, Lesson 8. Okay, so your skills maintenance, page 21 in the workbook. Go ahead, pause the video for now, and work on your skills maintenance. Okay, welcome back. So going through our skills maintenance then. Okay, activity 1, convert the fraction to decimal numbers. A calculator should not be necessary. Okay, 3/4, that's one of those common ones we should just know. Okay, just think if you have 3/4, we got 75 cents, so 0.75. Okay, 1/2, that's another common one that we use, 0.5. 9/4, now this one's a little bit tougher, but just think about it this way, okay? You have 9 quarters, okay? 4 quarters is $1, 8 quarters is $2, plus one more, so we got $2.25, or 2.25, okay? 3 halves, okay? Half a dollar is 50 cents, 50 cents, dollar, $1.50, so 150. And then 1/3, okay, it's another common one that we use. If you remember, 0.333 repeating, okay? So that's where we have that line in there as well. Okay, converting the decimal numbers to fractions without using a calculator now. So if you remember, your place values, okay? 0.4, the way we really say that is 4/10, okay? And if you say it properly, it tells you exactly the fraction. Now that does simplify if you divide both top and bottom by 2. That is 2/5, okay? 0.25, another common one, that is 1/4. 0.5 or 5/10, okay, 5/10, or if you know it, is 1/2, okay? So 17 hundredths, tenths, hundredths, okay? So 100 is our denominator, and you see 17 after the decimal, okay? So, and then again, tenths, hundredths are in the hundredths place, and you see 1, so 1/100th. And then finally here, 99 hundredths as well. All right, there's our skills maintenance. Okay, so today, our objective is rounding decimal numbers. Okay, so now, if you think about a fraction, all a fraction is really division, okay? So when you say this is saying 9 divided by 14. Okay, that's all 9/14 is saying. So we go ahead and we do that division, you'd get 0.64285, okay? And it goes on forever, okay? There is no stopping point with that decimal. So that's why it's important that we know how to round, okay? So when we look at place values, that first place value after the decimal is our tenths place. The next place, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths. Now a common mistake people make, okay, that the first yellow one, the tenths place, there is no oneths place. You got to skip that, okay? It goes straight to the tenths place, and then it's just like we count on the place values to the left of the decimal, okay? So now let's say I want you to round to the hundredths place, okay? The digit 3 is in the hundredths place. When we're rounding then, we're going to look at the digit behind it, okay? So we're in the hundredths place, and we're going to look at the thousandths place to tell us if we're going to round up or stay the same, okay? So if we round to the hundredths place in this case, we look at the 7, okay? And then anything 5 or greater, then we round up to the next digit, okay? If it is smaller than 5, that's where we keep the hundredths digit the same, okay? So in this case, we have 7, okay? So we got 7. That tells us to round that digit up. So then we change that 3 to a 4. And if we're rounding to the hundredths place, nothing should be past the hundredths place. So this would be rounding to the hundredths place for 0.13725. Okay, so now let's look at it again. Okay, now we got 0.13425, and we're going to round to the hundredths place. So again, we got 3 in the hundredths place, and we're going to look at the 4. Now, since 4 is smaller than 5, that tells us that we want to keep that digit the same. And again, if you're rounding to the hundredths place, you don't go beyond the hundredths place. Since 4 tells us the digit to stay the same, 0.1 3. Okay, so finding approximate locations on a number line now. This is where we're going to have to break up our number line. Okay, I know 1/2 is right in the middle. Okay, and we also know that that is 0.5. 0.64285 now. That's bigger than 0.5, so we're going to have to be between 0.5 and 1 at this point. Then we can break it up even further, okay, into our quarters. I know 3/4 is 0.75, and we have 4 fair shares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's where our quarters are. And then we can break it up even further. Okay, I know 0.6 repeating is 2/3. Okay, that's there. And then 0.64, if you remember, 0.6 repeating is 0.666 forever. Okay, now 0.64, that's going to be a little to the left of that 0.6 repeating. Okay, so that's where it's going to be located, near that 0.6 repeating, just a little to the left. Okay, and again, that's just an approximate location. It's not the exact location, but it's close. Okay, so 2.83 on a number line. Okay, we're going to have to go 0, 1, 2, 3, and then from there, okay, we can split it up even further. Again, doing our halves, okay, 0.5, 1.5, 2.5. Now 2.83, it's going to be somewhere between that 2.5 and 3. Okay, and then again, break it up into the quarters, and then we can see 2.83, that's a little bit bigger than 2.75, so we're going to have to be between that 2.75 and 3. So we know it's in between there somewhere, and it's going to be right about there. And again, that's just approximate, not exact. Big thing I'm looking for there is that you're between that 2.75 and 3. So when you're doing those, break it up like they did. Make sure you have those fair shares and give me the approximate location. Okay, surrounding decimal. Again, this is our ones place. This is our tenths place. Hundredths. Thousandths. And then 10,000ths. So rounding 0.13725 to the nearest hundredth. Okay, I always underline and then look at the following digit. 7 tells us to round that digit up. So 0.1, and then the hundredths place, since that's a 7, we're going to put it up to 0.14. Nearest tenth, okay, 1 is in the tenths place. So 4 tells us to keep that digit the same, 0.1. And then finally, the thousandths place, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 5, again, tells us to round up. So 2.66, and tells us to round up that digit. So 3. All right, there's rounding. Okay, how do we think decimal numbers that never end? Okay, so when we say 3 divided by 11, that's 3/11ths. Okay, this is the same thing. Remember, fractions we can think of as division. Okay, 11 does not go into 3, so it goes in there 0 times. Okay, and then if we do that actual division, what you're going to end up getting is 27, 27, 27, 27, 27. And then what you realize is that 27 keeps happening. So that is repeating. Okay, so the pattern's repeating, and the pattern that's repeating is that 27. So what we're going to do is put a line over that 27. If we did 4 7ths, okay, sometimes these repeating patterns are a little bit harder. So if you notice, if you did 4 7ths, it's going to be 0.571428. 571428. So that 571428 is the repeating pattern. So then you would put a line over that 0.27 for the 3/11ths, and you're going to put a line over the 571428 for the 4 7ths. Big thing is finding that repeating pattern and putting over the line over the repeating portion. Okay. Now we got number like pi. Okay, 3.14159265, or it is also 22 sevenths. Okay, that will not have a repeating, but we have that ... we do that in cases where there is no repeat pattern in the decimal. Okay, so go ahead, page 22 in your workbook, do your apply skills. Welcome back. So we got 0.251. We want to round to the tenths place. So in this case, we're looking at the tenths place. The 5 tells us to round that digit up, so we get 0.3. Now, if we go and do the hundredths place, okay, 5 is in the hundredths place. 1 tells us to keep that digit the same, so 0.2, and the digits stay the same, so 0.25. Okay, 0.083 then, round to the tenths place. 0 is in the tenths place. 8 tells us to round that digit up, so 0.1. Going and doing the hundredths place now. 8 is in the hundredths place. 3 tells us to keep that digit the same, so 0.08. Number 3, rounding to the tenths place. 1 is in the tenths place. 1 tells us to keep that digit the same, so 0.1. Going to the hundredths place now. 1 again is in the hundredths place. 5 tells us to round that digit up, so 0.12. Number 4, tenths place. 3 is in the tenths place. 7 tells us to round up, so 0.4. And then the hundredths place, the 7 is in the hundredths place. 8 tells us to round that digit up, so 0.38. Okay, so use a calculator to convert the fractions. 5/11ths. When we plug 5/11ths into the calculator now, so that's saying 5 divided by 11, we're going to get 0.454545. Okay, and you're noticing there's a repeat. Okay, 4-5 is repeating, so we're going to put a line over the 4-5, and then we can just get rid of those extra ones. Okay, 5-6 now, 0.83333 repeating. Okay, the part that is repeating now is the 3. So this is where some people make a mistake. That line will not go over the 8, it's just going over the 3. Okay, the 3 is the repeating part. 2/3, we're going to get 0.66666. Okay, that's one we should actually know off the top of our heads. Okay. So the 6 is repeating, so all we need to have is the line over the 6, and we can get rid of the other stuff. 1/7 now. Let's go ahead and use this. 0.142857. 142857. You notice the 142857 is the repeating, so let's go ahead, put a line over that, and we can get rid of the other part. Okay, 8/9 then, 0.8888, so on and so forth. Okay, in your calculator, you're going to see a point where it hits 9. That's them rounding to that place value, but that decimal really goes on forever and ever, 0.8888. So the 0.8 is repeating, and you get rid of the rest of those 8s. So 0.8. Okay, so after our apply skills, let's go ahead and let's try to interpret some box and whisker plots. So what does this data tell us? So if we look at that box and whisker plot, okay, we're given the data there. Remember, the median is always the one that falls within the middle. Okay, so that's going top, bottom, until you find that middle. Okay, and in this case, it's going to fall right in between these two values. So then we got to take the average of those two values, and that median is that 25.75. Again, the mean is where you take the total, okay, add everything up and divide by that, how many digits you have. In this case, it was that 25.7. Okay, and then you have your minimum on your box and whisker plot. Here's our minimum. Here's our maximum. Okay, so in those cases, 22 and 29.5, and then the median is always falls within that box. Okay. Okay, so looking at this data then, Okay, again, minimum 5, maximum that 19, median was 16.75. You notice it falls again within the box, in the box and whisker plot. Okay. So let's just go ahead and let's do this. Okay, what is the minimum score? Okay, if we're looking at the minimum score, we're looking at that left whisker. That falls on 5. What is the maximum? That's the right whisker. That's going to be 30. And then half the scores are between what two numbers? Okay, so remember, the box in a box and whisker plot represents that middle half. So between what two numbers? We can say 10, between 10 and 15. Half that data falls within there. Now, is there a greater spread in the lower quarter or the upper quarter? So then in these cases, we're going to look at the actual whiskers. Okay, so which one has a bigger spread? The left whisker is shorter than the right whisker, so the upper quarter, in this case, has a greater spread. Okay, that spread is from 15 to 30 in the upper quarter, and the spread in the lower quarter is from 5 to 10. Okay, problem solving activity. Median was the difference between the mean and the median. Okay, when we're doing that, again, you need to add all those values up and divide by, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So adding those values up and dividing by 16. When we do that, we should get a mean of 140.125. Okay, and that median is that middle value. Okay, so I'm looking at that middle half there. Okay, it falls right here. So our median is 142. Okay, and then what's the difference between the mean and median? Difference, again, meaning subtracting. So 142 minus 140.125, we get a difference of 1.875. Okay, is the median closer to 68 or 194? Okay, so if you look at it, it's going to be closer to 194. Okay, so in this case, our median is closer to the maximum. Okay, describe how Josh and Brad wrestle in different categories, heavyweights or lightweight, based on the box and whisker plot. Okay, when we look at it, Josh and Brad, let's go ahead and find Josh and Brad. We got Josh here and Brad here. So Brad is going to be, since he's in the lower quarter, okay, he's going to be in the lightweight. Where if you notice, Josh ends up in the top quarter. So Josh is in the heavyweight. Okay, and then what is the difference about the weight of the wrestlers in the lower quarter of the box and whisker plot and those in the upper quarter? So looking at it, the weight differences in the lower quarter are more spread out than the weight differences in the upper quarter. So lower quarter is more spread out. Okay. So there is your lesson 8 for unit 1. Go ahead and make sure you work on the homework as well for lesson 8. Other than that, have a good day.